Hey Bread Gang, I hope everyone's doing good, had a great weekend and keeping safe. In today's video, I want to chat to you guys about Zoom, so ticker symbol ZM. So Zoom have actually got their earnings today on market close. It'll be interesting to see which way the price goes or starts from tomorrow and pretty much closes tomorrow. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the potential outcomes for the earnings and also what analysts are saying, so what they're rating Zoom share price beyond the earnings, what they're rating the earnings, and also I'm going to go through the price action, so looking at where the price currently is and where I believe it could go to post earnings. So if you like the content that I put out and you like to support, make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that notification bell. With that being said, let's get this bread. So Zoom stock has been killing in 2020. They've been making bullish rally after bullish rally and beating their expected earnings, and this was partly due to the fact that we all went into lockdown roughly around the start of 2020. So a lot of people weren't able to physically see people, weren't able to physically go to work, especially. So a lot of companies had to adopt a working from home system. So basically the employees could continue working and businesses could of course stay afloat or continue thriving and not be affected as much due to the pandemic. So as part of the working from home system, a lot of businesses chose to use Zoom. So Zoom, you could effectively remote work. So you can dial into meetings, have your camera on. Basically, it looks like you're at the meeting physically at the office or at the factory, wherever your place of work was before lockdown. And not just businesses, other people were using Zoom as well as a form of communication. So a lot of people were using Zoom, which made it very popular, and of course the company was thriving. Therefore, a lot of investors were looking at this thinking, you know what, this is a gold mine. The stock is only going to go up, so let me start investing, and this created a lot of demand, and this is partially the reason why the price pretty much soared all the way beyond $500 a share. But as time went on, lockdown restrictions were being eased across the globe, which meant more and more people were able to go out. So basically people were getting out more and perhaps using Zoom less. So as Zoom wasn't being used much towards the end of 2020, pretty much this reflected in the stock price as the stock price started to fall. So it went from beyond $500 to pretty much below $400 right now. So if we look at the chart of Zoom, so ticker symbol ZM, and if we scroll back, as we can see, that huge rip, that bullish rally all the way up from pretty much $81 all the way up to near enough $600 a share. I mean, that is insane. And this rally started in February. So perhaps this was people gearing up for the lockdown, like trying to look for alternative ways to pretty much being in the office or seeing family, etc. So people are starting to download Zoom. They were starting to use Zoom more. And this came quickly with investors seeing the potential of Zoom and starting to invest in it. And because of that, the price is just pretty much taken off. But as I mentioned, towards the end of 2020, it peaked. After it peaked around $580, it pretty much started falling. The bears took over, started bringing this price all the way down. So the price came down, bounced off the 100 moving average, which is serving as a good support at the time. So this bounced off it on the 6th of November 2020. The bulls took the price up, trying to pretty much regain a lot of strength, try to get the price back up to test that all-time high of $580 and perhaps break it. But the bears are like, nah, we're gonna short this, like Zoom doesn't really have much potential. It was just a working from home thing. That's it. No one really is paying attention to it anymore. It's done now that the restrictions are being eased. So after this, they brought the price below the 100 moving average. And since then, the price has pretty much stayed below that. I mean, it poked its head above it on the 14th of June 2021. So perhaps people were thinking, you know what, we're going back into lockdown. Maybe Zoom is going to make a very good recovery right now. So let's start investing into it. So this brought a little bit of demand and brought the price up a little bit, basically above the 100 moving average. And again, the bears brought the price back down to test that 100 moving average as a support. It's pretty interesting because this is towards the earnings. So this is an anticipation of the earnings. So what usually happens with earnings is that the price usually rises. So effectively buy the rumor, sell the news. So perhaps the price is falling in the lead up to the earnings because a lot of people are anticipating the earnings to be worse than they have been. And if we look more closely, the bulls have actually tried to bring the price above the 100 period moving average, but the bears have closed that session, the session on the 26th of August, they've closed it below it. And right now in today's session, the bulls have even tried to test that 100 moving average, but it's serving as a good resistance at the moment. I mean, you can see a lot of bearish pullback within today's session. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, like in terms of the market open, how people react to the earnings announcement tonight. Will the price get above the 100 moving average and continue heading up? or would the price just stay below it, basically continue heading down? So looking at the stats on TradingView, it seems like analysts are actually anticipating that the earnings per share is going to be $1.16. So if today's earnings aren't as good as they have been, which means that a lot of investors are going to be disappointed, so there might potentially be a sell-off. And if there is a sell-off, I can see the price getting down, initially down to $307, as there's a support. So there's really a support zone between $307 and $302. And failing that, if that support doesn't hold, then I can see the price getting down towards $282 and $274. So if we look at the weekly chart, it looks like the price has been heading towards that 100 period moving average to test as a support. Pretty much the bulls have stepped in to drive the price up, but there's actually a resistance that's formed. So the resistance around $395, so roughly around $400, there's a resistance formed. So this is actually a resistance zone. So a resistance zone between $395 and $406. So we'll see what the price says this week, especially after today's earnings. I believe the price is likely to fall to test this 100 moving average, because the bears would really want to test this on the long term, and especially seeing the MACD, there's a dead cross forming on the weekly. So if we then look even further out, as you can see, the price pretty much tried to take off, but the bears are bringing the price down on the monthly. So as you can see, the support zone of $274 to $282 is actually a good support. So it's actually the bottom of the wick of a hammer candle on the monthly chart. So again, we'll see if the price falls to test the support on the monthly chart, basically to see if that's a long-term good support. So if the support does hold, then I can see the price potentially bouncing back to test the previous all-time high, about $500 a share. So if we look at the article on MarketWatch, Zoom video earnings expectations may be coming back to earth. So I want to point you guys to Morgan Stanley analyst Meta Marshall upgraded Zoom to overweight from equal weight on Thursday and hiked her price target to $400 from $360, with the expectation that a 5% or greater revenue beat from the company would cause a positive reaction for the stock. Marshall also sees Zoom's plans to buy Five9 Inc., ticker symbol FIVN, for over $14 billion as a positive. So looking at FinViz, you can actually see this upgrade on the 26th of August. So Morgan Stanley, so equal weight to overweight. So between $360 to $400, and the average target price for analysts is actually $414. And also seeing as Zoom are planning to buy Five9 for over $14 billion, this shows tremendous strength within the company. The fact that they want to acquire another company for over $14 billion, this shows that, look, they've got their plans, they've got that ish together for the next couple of years. They've got a lot of plans to basically take Zoom to the next level, and also shows an early indication that, look, they can actually weather out the storms, they can adapt to the environment. They're not just a whole pandemic company that has boomed. They're trying to show investors that they've got a lot of plans going forward, and they're going to meet a lot of targets. They know what they're doing going forward, and investors investing into Zoom, they're in safe hands. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on Zoom, and especially this earnings. What are your thoughts on it? And also give this video a thumbs up so I know this is the kind of content that you like to see. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.